Hello there and welcome to Beads Jar. I'm Natalia and today I have another new tutorial for you. Today we're going to be making this Floral Frenzy Necklace using some very colourful acrylic flowers, faux pearls and glass pearls. So let's take a look and see what you'll need to make this piece of jewellery. Here are all the things that you're going to need to make our Floral Frenzy necklace today. So first of all, the major component are these beautiful acrylic flowers. So we have them in the, these almost look like petunia style flowers, but they are flower charm pendants they're known as, and they come in a pack of 2. These are 33mm and they come in different colours. So I'm using 8 of these altogether in my necklace. Then we have these little acrylic roses. And again, these come in lots of different colours, variations, and then the little acrylic pansies. The next thing that we're going to need are some of these acrylic pearls. So these are round 8mm and they are cream coloured. We have some acrylic pearls in a lavender colour, 8mm. We also have them in this hot pink, this fuchsia colour. And then we have some 6mm acrylic beads, acrylic pearls. These are in a teal colour. We're also going to be using some 8mm glass round pearl beads for the necklace part of our project. We have a gold plated clasp which is magnetic. We have 2 gold plated crimp covers. And then I'm using some size 8 Miyuki seed beads for the stamen part of the flowers, and those are in galvanized gold colour. We've got some bead-along stringing wire, and that's in a satin gold colour. We're going to be using quite a bit of this gilt on copper wire, and that is 0.5 gauge wire. And then these are the tools that you're going to need. It'll be handy to have a pair of round nose pliers. You're definitely going to need your wire cutters and your flat nose pliers. So let's get started and make the necklace. So the first part of the step in making this necklace is to take some of the big acrylic pendant flowers. And we're going to be placing one of these acrylic pearls inside each of them. So you choose the colour combinations that you want. I rather like the way that that hot pink works with the green and the way that the cream just sits perfectly with the blue, but you know, it's your choice. And we're going to attach these to our pieces. So we're going to need a couple of the little gold Miyuki beads later on for the other flowers, but we'll start with these. So first of all, you're going to need to take your wire and cut off a piece of wire that is, let's see, approximately 10 centimeters in length. So let's bring that in, and let's show you how to do attach the pearl here with the blue flower. So I'm going to thread my wire, one end of my wire up through that pearl, and I'm going to take my round nose pliers and just take the wire and place it just towards the end of the pliers so that there isn't much wire coming out of the top. You can maybe just feel it when you scratch it with your finger. And then just going to turn a loop in the end of this wire. I'm just going to do that one more time. So you've got almost like a full circuit of the loop. Push that up into my pearl. Now you can leave it like that, where you've just got a little loop coming up the top, or you can flatten it down. You can just take your flat nose pliers and take that loop and flatten it. So you just basically turn it to a right angle, and then you can see that it's flattened onto the pearl. So that's what I did for mine because I didn't want them sticking out, but it's up to you. If you want to have a more kind of multi-dimensional look to the necklace, you can do that. And then we take the other end of the wire and just thread that through. Actually, I've got a little kink in the end of my wire because that was the beginning of the wire, so let's get rid of that. And I take that through the hole in the pendant so that our pearl sits perfectly in the middle. And then all you need to do is to just take the wire up to a right angle like this, and then if you want to stop the flower from turning around, or once we start connecting all the flowers together, it's a good idea if you want to just add a little loop here, and this will keep that wire taut against the end of the flower. So just do a little wire wrap loop like that, and then what you can do is flatten it down with the pliers. So you're not going to see this is going to be on the back of the piece, but it just keeps it in place like so. And the rest of this wire you're going to use to actually create the loops for the necklace part to be attached to. This is almost like the pendant part, the front part of the necklace. So, and then we can take another piece of wire. So again, about the same length of wire, 10 centimeters. So I'm going to do the same thing, just show you that again, using the hot pink pearl. And the colours of these acrylic pearls are just fabulous. They're so vibrant and colourful. So just turning a couple of loops in the end, taking my flat nose pliers and just flattening off that loop so that it sits on the end of my pearl like that, and then threading it through the acrylic flower there. Take a pair of round nose pliers, just create a little loop and wrap it a couple of times, and then that's keeping that secure against the back of the flower. So now we can connect two of these flowers together. So you may want to do all of your flowers and then connect them all together. I personally like to build it up as I go along so I can see where I've got gaps, what colour combinations I'd like to use. So it's entirely up to you. But I'll show you how to connect two of them together. So just, you know, they just sit together really nicely because the petals are curved, which is really pretty. It's just very, very flower-like, very authentic. So I'm going to turn them over. And then I'm just going to gently twist those wires together a few times like that. And then we get our two flowers just sitting together. And this is almost creating a little branch or a stalk that the other flowers can be attached to. And it also gives us some loops to attach the pearls on the necklace part that's going to go around the neck. So I want to bring in some other flowers now. So we have the pansies, actually the roses and the pansies. You can see we've got all these wonderful bright colours. They remind me of Easter, remind me of springtime, very, very happy, jolly looking little flowers. And these are taken from a mould, so they're all very perfect. And then what you're going to do with these is to add the little galvanised gold coloured Miyuki beads into the centre of them. So for these flowers, you're going to take a shorter length of wire, and it's going to be about 6 centimeters long. And then we're going to take one of the Miyuki seed beads, just pop it onto the end of the wire, take your round nose pliers, and then again, right at the end of the nose on the pliers, just do 3 or 4 turns to create a loop. And this looks more stamen-like, it looks more natural, like a little flower centre. We'll do that with one of the little pansy flowers. Thread that through, take it all the way down. Again, I'm going to create my loop on the back just to make sure that the wire stays against the back of the pansy, and then flatten it down with my flat nose pliers, the back of them. And then I'm going to attach that to that main branch. So these little ones, you want them to be sitting out front, because if they go behind, then they're going to disappear. These ones are really great for covering up any gaps when you start to assemble your flower arrangement. But you can have a lot of fun with the colour combinations and getting it how you want, in the shape that you want. So I'm going to take that wire, I'm going to twist it around a few times. I'm doing this for speed, so you'll do this more neatly than I'm doing it right now. I'm sure that there's plenty of you out there who are watching this and you've got great skills with the wire wrapping. And what you can do there is you've got this excess piece of wire, you can use that for another flower. So rather than cutting off a new piece of wire, you can actually attach a flower on. So we can attach one of these little, oh, well, let's have a rose. We'll have one of the purple roses. So take these out of the way. So again, you're going to thread that on. I'm just going to get it in the position that I want it. So I want it just sitting on top of the petals of that green flower. And then I'm going to thread on my seed bead. And I'm going to trim off, leaving about 2 or 3 centimeters of wire. Look at that. And then I'm going to just turn a wrapped loop on the end. A little loop a couple of times. And I like those ones sticking up because I want them to be a little bit more like small flowers that you would see. And then you're just going to arrange your flowers accordingly. So that is what you do. You're just going to create almost like this bouquet style, making sure that the colours all sit together in the way that you want them to. And being on wire, you can flex and manipulate them much more easily. It's a really nice, very therapeutic little project to do. So let me bring in my finished piece. So what I want it to do is to look almost like a triangular shape, because that is a really attractive shape for a pendant piece. It sits really nicely on the body, and then you can arrange your flowers so that they're all sitting in whichever combination that you want. And then you'll see that we've got this excess wire coming out here. Now I'll show you what I've already done. So you'll see the back there, all the wire is connected, and I've created a loop. So I've wrapped all of those wires together to create a loop, and that is where I'm going to start to string my beads for the necklace to go around the neck. So we've got this end, and I'll show you how I did it. So I've got 2 pieces of wire, and then I'm going to take my round nose pliers. I want a fairly decent sized loop, so I'm going to go along to about 1/3 of the way along my round nose pliers. I'm going to take my wire back over my pliers, so I create a loop, reposition my pliers, and then just begin to wrap around the base of that loop, around the top of the flower. And then when I'm finished, let's take both of those wires there, I'm just going to trim that off and then press down with my flat nose pliers just to make sure that those wires aren't sticking out, because that is going to be, it could be against the neck or the chest, and you don't want that to be sticking into the skin. And then you can make that loop perfectly round by just sliding it back onto the round nose pliers. So then we have our centerpiece for the necklace. So pretty, it's a riot of colour, isn't it? And now we're going to start to string the necklace together. So I'm going to take some of my beadalon. Let's just pop this out of the way. And so this is my bead stringing wire, and what you want to do is you want to make sure that you cut off a length that is long enough on each side to go around the neck for the length of necklace that you want. So now I have cut 3 pieces of the beadalon beading thread, so we can string our beads on here. And you just want it to be slightly longer than the length of the necklace that you're going to need to put around your neck. So if you've got an 18-inch necklace, you're going to figure out having about 12 inches of the beadalon thread. So we've got 3 strands of that. And then what I've done is I've threaded the crimp onto the 3 strands on the left-hand side. So I'm just going to pull that through. Pull it along, just make sure I've got everything at the same length there. And then I'm going to take those last 3 strands, make sure that they're all the same length. And I'm just going to thread them back through that crimp. They will all go through, they definitely will. You just need to Make sure that they're all going inside the crimp and that one of them isn't outside of it. And then you're going to push them through. And then just pull all the way along. Make sure that you've got your crimp pushed down like that. If you've got any spare threads, you can just cut them off at the end, and then take your flat nose pliers, or if you've got a pair of crimping pliers, you can use that, and you're going to squash your crimp down really hard. Okay, and that will keep everything in place securely. You can just trim off a little bit of the threads like that. And then we can start to string our beads on. So I'm going to bring the beads in, and the ones that I'm going to use are these lavender beads that are 8mm, and also the 8mm cream acrylic pearls. And I'm going to use one of these glass pearls as well, just to show you how the pattern works. So we're going to take the first one of our strands of the beading wire and thread on one of the lavender 8mm, and then in the middle one I'm going to put one of the cream beads. And sometimes with these acrylic pearls the paint sort of fills up the hole, so you just need to put your beading all in there, or at the end of your round nose pliers, just to open that hole up. And then we're putting on the last strand, we're putting one of those lavender coloured beads. So then take all 3 of your strands and you're going to thread them through your glass pearl, which is in that gorgeous, slightly lighter lavender colour. So I wanted to have a bit of texture on the necklace, and again, different sizes of beads. And it just makes it more playful, and it's in keeping with the whole design then. So for the second pass of the beads, this time we're going to put 2 of the cream pearls on. I'm going to alternate between 2 lavender, 2 cream. So your middle one is going to have a lavender bead, and then the third one is going to have one of the cream beads. And then again we will secure those in with one of the large lavender glass pearls. So all 3 strands go through the glass pearl like that. And what is really good is combining the glass pearls with the acrylic pearls, because the majority of the beads on the necklace are the acrylic ones, and they're much lighter weight. So the whole necklace is a nice weight to wear, even though it's quite a chunky piece. It's definitely got a lightness about it. So you would just continue doing that all the way along to the end until you have got the desired length. You do the same on the other side, and then what I'm going to do is show you how to attach the clasp. So I have threaded all of my pearls onto each side of the necklace, and now I have my ends. So if you end up with quite a lot of excess of the tiger tail thread, just trim it down, make sure that the ends are all the same length. And then we're just going to pop one of the crimps onto all 3 of the strands. This is the hardest part of doing this particular maneuver, because just getting them all in now. Whoops, it's just flipped off. The crimp is wide enough to take those 3 and then for it to come back through, as we've seen previously, but it will be a little bit tricky. So now we've got to the end of threading the beads on, and just trim off and leave about 6 centimeters worth of the beading thread there. And you're going to place your crimp onto all 3 of those beading wires, and then take your half of your magnetic clasp, one half of it, and take the 3 beading wires through the loop, the sort of connector at the end of there. And then you're going to take your 3 wires back through the crimp. So this is the tricky part. Just make sure that you get all 3 of them in. I'm just counting to make sure I've done that. Have I got all 3 of them in there? I'm not sure that I have. Oh, I did. I just didn't spot the end of that. So this is the trials and tribulations of beading, isn't it? Getting things through holes and tight little places. So then you're going to pull all 3 of your beading wires down until you've just got a little bit of a loop on the end of there, and then take your flat nose pliers. It will want to attach itself to the magnetic clasp because it is magnetic. So just detach it and then press down. You can put a crimp cover over the crimp, or use a pair of crimping pliers if you wish. That will make it extra secure. And then you're just going to trim off those little beading threads. And I've done the other side already. So then I'm going to connect my clasp together, and we'll see that we've got our whole necklace there, all beaded, all beautifully coordinated with the colours that we've got in here, those lovely Easter colours, those spring colours. And I hope you'll agree it's a very, very delightful, very happy looking necklace, and it's perfect for Mother's Day, for spring or summer, and just a really, really happy piece of jewellery to wear. So I hope you've enjoyed watching all about how to make this Floral Frenzy necklace. It is a very colourful piece, very jolly and very happy, and it certainly made me smile making it. I hope it does you too. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss out on any of the new tutorials that we're bringing you very soon. And also click on the Show More section to go through to our website and to find all of the lovely products that we've used today. We'll catch up with you real soon. Bye for now.